Me getting a thumbnail. Welcome to my channel. I mean, I've posted some Instagram podcasts and all that stuff, but if you haven't seen those podcasts and it's the first time that you've ever been on my channel, welcome. My name is Jalen. I'll be going over, I have a podcast I'm gonna post every Tuesday, so be on the lookout for that. Next week, talking about my budget because this year is when I get out of debt. I have been doing this ever since 2017, trying to get things right, making mistakes, all that stuff. So we'll be talking about that. I'll be posting some lifestyle videos, so look out for that. Working on editing my videos. That's going to be very new to me, and so I'm trying to just be consistent, not perfect. And so that's what I'm working on this year. There'll be a lot of different videos, but I'm not pigeonholing myself to any one thing or two things. But let's get right into it. So, like I said, my main goal for 2021 is to get out of debt. I have 2 debts left, and that is my student loans and that is my car. Let me get the specific numbers actually. Yep, I have it right here. So I owe on student loans about $11,232.87. And for my car, I owe $13,257.45. So not that bad. I actually had a paid for car at the beginning of this year. Then I got another one. I know I'm not supposed to do it, but the car that I really wanted came up and it was at a great price. So I just went in there, negotiated, got the car, and yesterday I got back from my vacation and I drove it and I was like, man, I love this car. So I'm not mad at that decision at all. So how did I get here in 2021 and why I'm paying off debt? So in 2017, I graduated and I really was like, you know what? I've been driving my '01 Galant, Mitsubishi Galant. Love that car. But I was like, you know what? I'm ready to get my own car. I'm ready to move up in the world. And I always thought that like you had to have a car payment, you had to have bills, and you were an adult if you had those things. And that's kind of what my mindset was. That's kind of how I was raised. They had bills, my parents had bills, they paid for it. Car payment seemed like you always had to do a car payment. And then I went, got the car. It was a 2016 Hyundai Veloster white. It was 3 doors, weird, right? But absolutely loved it when I got it. But then as I progressed, student loans was coming in November, at 6 months grace period. And, I kind of fell into a YouTube video where I was like, Dave Ramsey. Like I got introduced to that. Budgeting and getting out of debt. And then Matt D'Avella was another person that I came across. And he also did Dave Ramsey with a combination of other people. Ramit Sethi is, I think, who he also did some stuff with, his budgeting. But I came across that and it just opened my eyes, and it was like, you don't have to have a car payment. You don't have to have student loans. Like I thought all of this stuff was exactly what, like, you had to do that. You had to get student loans when you went to college. You had to have a car payment. Like I thought those things made you an adult. And that's what I did. And when I looked up and I calculated everything, in 2017, I owed about $42,000. Is around $20-ish thousand, $22,000 for student loans, and then $23,000 ish of that Hyundai Veloster. And if you ever know Dave Ramsey, and you may not like him, but he has principles to set you up for the long run and not have to be like a millionaire or make six figures, and you still have workable steps, what you call baby steps. And it seemed so seamless to me to do that. And I was like, man, I have to do that. Like $42,000 in debt, and it's just like I was making minimum payments on my student loans because I didn't know you can make more than the minimum payments. I had a credit card, wasn't really using that that much, but I did have to use it when I moved for my job. And I was paying back that, but I was paying back the bare minimum because that's what I thought you had to do. And no, it changed my thought process. It's like, no, attack the smallest debt, save an emergency fund. I never even thought about having an emergency fund. So baby steps. First thing is to save $1,000 in emergency fund as an emergency fund. And it kind of made sense to me. And I know a lot of people are like, no, I can just have my credit card. But when you first get a credit card, it's kind of around that $1,000 limit, and that $1,000 emergency fund, if I save up, will be kind of my credit card. And that kind of looked at it like that, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And you don't have to pay it back. This is just what you have. And I was like, man, this makes sense. So I looked at it and I started thinking. I was like, man, and Dave Ramsey really hones in. Is like, if you have too much car, sell it. And nobody around me was thinking like this. I mean, what was that? 3 years ago? 3 years ago? So I'm like 22, 23 at the time. Like, nobody's thinking like that. So I'm like the only person that's talking about this. And I had another friend who didn't have debt, and he really understood Dave Ramsey. He actually introduced me to Dave Ramsey, and I was hooked. That I think October, November. So I was introduced to Dave Ramsey in October, and I was like, in November, I'm doing it because this is my student loan start, and I got to get it done. So I wanted to sell my car. And my parents, especially my dad, was like, dude, you just got that car. It's a good car. Why would you sell that car and get an older car? But I'm like, they lived one way and I wanted to live another way. I wanted to have this freedom. And so I looked and I found Car Gurus, which I think is, probably the best thing if you want to find a car, because you can find it anywhere. 100-mile radius, 50-mile radius, 25. You can set your budget, what you want to pay, what you're looking for, and I did just that. It took me a few months, but then I found my 2007 Volkswagen GTI. And when I tell you that car changed me as a driver and my love of cars, because it was so much more refined than my 2016 car. Like, it was a top of the line 2007 car, and I loved it. Then in 2018, that's when I got the car. I moved to St. Louis, I'm currently here now. I was able to pay off my negative equity loan, and I'll get into that a little bit later on, like how to do that negative equity loan, how to pay it off, how to get a personal loan to do that, because that was a learning process for me. And I'll go over that, and that'll be kind of something that I'm like working through and trying to figure out how to make these budget videos. So that'll be something that I'll put up, and I think that'll help a lot of people, because no one really knows how to do that, because you're losing money. So like I said, I sold my Veloster, got $13,000 for it. So I think that left, at that time I had paid a couple $1,000s off of it. So it was $19,000. So I had $6,000 in negative equity loan on top of the new car that I got, which is $7,500. So had about $13,500 in my in car, which is still less than that $19,000 that I owed. So 2018, I attacked it. I paid off that negative equity loan of $6,000. I paid off my car of $7,500, and I was seeing progress. But as you make a little bit more money, you get a nicer apartment. Sometimes you lose sight of what you really wanted to do, and that was get out of debt. So, I mean, when I came here, I was staying in a $900 apartment, but, I didn't have parking, had to do street parking, which is a pain. God, I hated that, but, I moved up, got another apartment, but, I was losing sight of getting out of debt because now I was living a nicer lifestyle. I had more friends, I was going out, things like that. And then 2019 was a decent year, paying off student loans, but still not attacking it as much because, like I said, I was going out, doing all the things, I was having fun. Don't regret it. And then last year, even though we weren't doing anything for quarantine and stuff like that, I found myself online shopping a lot, and I ended up paying around $8,300 on my student loans, and I got a new car, which, my other car was paid for, and nothing was wrong with it. I had to do some maintenance on it, some major maintenance on it, and I was like, in 5 years, I probably won't be driving this car, so like it was appealing to me to get this new car, which I did, and don't regret it. But now I'm at this point now where I have around $24,000. I just made a payment on my student loan, so I think that's down to $10,000 now. So yeah, roughly $23,000 that I have to pay off this year. And simply put, I could live the same lifestyle that I've been doing, pay $12,000 off this year, $11,000 off next year, and be golden. 27, 28, and I have my student loans paid off, or 28, but I could do it at 26 or before I turn 27. Yeah. You have to live a little less lavish lifestyle, might have to go out a little less, but that's what I'm focused on this year, is paying off these student loans, because so many doors are open up for me with that. And I know a lot of people will be like, no, you should invest, and I get it. But if I stick to it this year, I have 50, 60 plus years, as long as I'm living, to, invest, instead of worrying about, student loans, which I only have $10,000. My goal is to pay it off by June, July, and then take the rest of the year, to December to pay off my car payment. And that's my focus. There's going to be a lot less going out, especially with the pandemic. I know we got the vaccine going on, but, that's how I got here. Paid off about $20-ish thousand, gained some more debt, but I'm very much more knowledgeable of what I want to do. I have goals. Last year I didn't have really any goals. It was just like, you had some goals, and then by March it was like, well, none of that really matters, and you're just trying to find footing. Then you look up, and then it's November, and you're like, boy, I didn't do a thing. But, that's why we're here. So, my budgeting system, I use the Every Dollar app, which is Dave Ramsey's app. I am going to try and I've been using that since day one, so back in 2017, and I love it. It's very seamless, very simple to use. Budgeting is decently hard because you gotta do it 1 month, see how you did, stick to it first, second month more consistent, third month more consistent, and then once you're doing it over a few months, a year, 2 years, you could pretty much know what's going to happen, and so your budget can be easier as time goes on. So just looking through my budget right now, full disclosure, I know people don't like talking about how much people make in a year, but I'm like, does it really matter? I work as a engineer, so I made around $70,000 a year. Really good income. Especially at 25 years old, I can't really. You know, People my age make more. People my age make less. That's just kind of the nature of the world right now, and I'm not um, upset about it either way. I'm just super grateful and thankful that, I didn't have to go through a furlough or anything like that through 2020 because it's been a crazy year. People have lost their jobs, lost their money. And, like I said, I'm grateful that I still have mine. So going through the budget, rent about $972 a month. I get my monthly budget money kind of before the month. It's weird to explain, but I got my first 2 week payment um, last week. So I won't get paid this week, I get paid next week. Cool. And that'll be my January budget. So I'll be a little bit ahead, and I pay my bills ahead because, why not? I don't have to wait till the day of, and then I try to stay ahead of everything. So $972 for rent. I'm grateful for that, especially in St. Louis. Sometimes it can get expensive. Um, Gas, I do $120. So I won't be using that much, and I can probably bring that down. But when I was driving a lot, when the pandemic wasn't there, I would do $40 to fill up, and that'd be 3 times a month. Like I said, I don't use that much. I probably use. It probably is like 25. I probably get $50 a month right now because I'm not driving as much going to work or anywhere else like that, and gas is cheaper. So, right now, $350 for groceries. I eat a lot. I train a lot. Gotta eat a lot. Restaurants, I eat out a lot. That's $200. I know that's a lot. I'm trying to work on it. I already spent a good amount on restaurants, but still got a lot in the groceries. So I haven't been grocery shopping since I've been back from the holidays, but it's cool. $40 for a haircut. It's $35. I pay $5 tip. I know that's a lot, but got a beard. Got hair. I like to look nice. You know what I'm saying? Cycle bar. I will be stopping this one, but I love indoor cycling, so that's $69. And so going forward, I will probably just pay the $22 every time that I go in, because maybe I go once or twice, and I'm focusing more on CrossFit right now. So this will go down. I won't have that next month, so I have $69 more to throw to my debt. Car payment, $271.03. So whatever. Miscellaneous, I do $100 there. Actually, I did $60, and I actually already used that because I flew and I checked my bag. Both times it was $30. Headspace, I actually haven't used this yet because I don't like using technology to meditate, because then I have to plug in my headphones, I have to use my phone, and it kind of takes away from it a little bit for me, especially because I've been meditating before. So I probably won't even use that. Go Wide Mobility, which that's $9.99 a month. I need that because I don't like stretching, don't like mobilizing, but this kind of keeps me on track, and I've been doing it every day since I had it. My oil change, which I actually got that done yesterday, and I budgeted $85. It actually came out to $87 and some change, and I have some money left over. I always keep about $50 left over. I know that zero-based budget is what Dave Ramsey preaches, but I like having that left over to say, just in case I under budgeted something, it's not like I'm totally wrong on that, where I don't have money to just cover that. My training, which is my CrossFit training, I pay $49 a month for that because tailored to me a little bit more. Getting a phone upgrade, I actually might not even need it that much anymore. We'll see. But I paid for that already. That was $300. $100 nutrition challenge that my CrossFit gym is doing. Doing that because it's going into the open, which is CrossFit's like mass um, competition, and so I want to be in the best shape that I can be for that. Yep, car insurance $94, renters insurance $13.75, and I'm putting $1,100 towards my student loans, which I already paid for already, and that's why it's not 11,232.87, which is what I said earlier. Now it's around 10,100 ish dollars. So yeah, this is actually the first time I use Every Dollar, which is the app that I use again. Like I said, on the laptop. I don't even use my laptop that much, but I like it. I like it because you can see some other stuff, which I am going to use. Like I said, I'm going to go to the Dave Ramsey Plus, so it'll my bank account will be put into it. So then I can kind of figure out everything and go from there. I'm excited, man. This is keep me on track. Pretty sure if you just search on YouTube, people's journeys, debt-free journeys, man, you can find a lot of people's different stories. And I'm gonna go through mine as we're doing this per month. And like I said, I'll sprinkle some other things in there, like I said, like how to get out of a negative equity loan or things like that. So yeah, man, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Trying to think of anything else that I want to talk about. This is the first one, so it's gonna be a little bit rough. Oh, Asia Dang, she's been an inspiration. I kind of watched her stuff when she was getting out of debt, and then I just rewatched it, just all of it, because it was just like, this is motivation. She was one person that really was like, I'm following Dave Ramsey, but there's some other stuff in my life that I can't do. Like, he speaks on beans and rice, eat that. But, he's saying just eat cheaper than what you normally. For me, with me and my training, I like to eat a little bit more. I eat for to be in the best health that I can be. So some things like that I can't do. And like, of course people were like, oh yeah, I didn't buy anything for a year. I'm gonna buy some shoes, but those sinking funds and delaying that gratification, it's changed my whole outlook. So, and I'll go over some sinking funds and how that works. Me and my mom talk about that, and oh man, it's been a life changer. So, like I said, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I am so happy I'm doing this. I'm grateful for all of you. Let's get out of debt together. If you're on your journey, let me know how much you have, what you're doing to get out of debt, and let's do this together. Let's have a great 2021. Set your goals, but also set the system of how you're going to reach those goals. Because you can't have goals, but no plan to get there, and you're not going to get there, which is what I did last year. So now, have goals, have a plan to get there, and we're going to do it. Getting out of debt, 2021. Let's get it. Y'all have a good one.